most of people live here are footballer or drug dealer. I know most of the Newcastle footballer. You are not one of them, so you have to be the drug dealer. In it by myself, scared to hire people, scared to go bigger warehouse, scared to do any investment.
Welcome to Brains Behind Brands. I'm Stuart Bramley, your host on this podcast, and we unravel the secrets of business success. Join us on a journey through the minds of successful entrepreneurs and business owners who will share their stories of triumph over adversity, strategies, and lessons learned. Whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur, a seasoned business owner, or just curious about what it takes to succeed in today's competitive world, our podcast will be the perfect place to gain knowledge and insights. Join us on this exciting journey to discover the secrets of success with Brains Behind Brands. To help this podcast grow, please like, share, and subscribe. Now let's get to the show. So, Rez, welcome to Brains Behind Brands. First guest on the first series, so it's very exciting. I'm really excited to kind of to find out more. Firstly, would you like to kind of give everyone a little bit of an introduction about yourself?
Yeah, my name is Rez. Born and bred in Newcastle. No, I'm just joking. And I'm the CEO brand behind the MDaddy and GoNokNok. And I will tell you the rest of the story during the program, obviously.
No, that's brilliant. So, you know, you're a successful business owner, entrepreneur. Where did that start? Is that something that you kind of, as you grew up, you know, there was certain things played a part in your life, or?
I think I didn't have much choices, Stuart. I born into the business. You know, my dad had a business, always was running the business, up and down. But we didn't know anything more than, you know, running the business. Mm-hmm. And one very clear example of it is just when I was 10 years old, I asked my dad for shoes for a school. And he bought something for me in the wholesale market for me to sell it in front of his shop, make money and buy my own shoes.
Wow.
And since then, I can't remember ever he gave me the cash. He actually made something for me to create my own money, create my own business.
Well, and that was from a young age.
10 years old. I remember exactly was 10 years old because of the year of the school. And that all this time when I grew up in Iran, north of Iran, I was exactly the same till I was 20 years old and I arrived in the Newcastle. So I knew how to actually make a living out of, you know, nothing. Mm-hmm. It wasn't just, I want to have a business. Let's start the business. Let's go for it. No, I actually think it was in my blood. It was in... It was chipped into my brain.
Wow. That's really
and I'm not arrogant. I'm just telling actually what is true, what is actually the reality.
Yeah. So do you think when you were, you know, obviously born in Iran, northern Iran, and like you say, you've experienced, you know, trying to make money from a very young age. How difficult was that? Was it something where you obviously you seen your dad, and you know he was successful in his business, and were you trying to prove to him that you could do that also, or was it just a case of, you know, you needed?
This may become surprise for you. That what I'm telling is that it wasn't hard for me at all. It was just actually enjoyment and the journey. Mm-hmm. The journey was super excited for me. Whatever I done. Creating product, creating service, creating business, despite had lots of risk into it, despite I was struggling as a young, man, or when I became a little older, I always enjoyed it. I remember creating my own income, creating the business, creating the buzz around it. It excited me a lot.
Yeah.
And I remember just that excitement. I didn't really remember, or I don't remember that what was the struggle. Mm-hmm. And I still push myself to don't remember the struggle, Stuart.
Yeah.
I really, and this would be my advice actually to anybody. I tell my kids the same. I said, you know, whatever you have in the past, if it's bad time, you have to forget about it, learn and move on. But remember the enjoyment, because in the business, as we know, you have to be in the long distance run. You cannot be just for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. Yeah. And in this, you know, long distance, you cannot remember the bad stuff. You have to remember the positive and the enjoyment and the journey.
Yeah, the journey.
Otherwise, you will not last long. You will have a breakdown. You will have blah, blah, and all other stuff.
So kind of going back to the journey, you obviously traveled to Newcastle. What was that like? Why did you kind of decide, okay, I'm going to come to England and Newcastle?
That's actually a very good question, but it is very strange because it's repeat question from last week. Some other entrepreneur forum magazine coming out. They had the same interview and they asked me the same question.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly the same question. And I have to give the same answer. Yeah, when I arrived in Newcastle store, I felt home.
Right.
I'm not exaggerating. I've been to the Manchester for a travel. I've been to London. I've been to the Cumbria, but nowhere I felt like a home as Newcastle. Right. And this became more stronger as I live longer, And now people ask me, "Oh, where are you from?" I don't know what the hell I have to answer them, I don't know, because I am foreigner in the both country. When I go to Iran, they say, "Oh, you don't live here. You live in Newcastle now 22 years. You are foreigner." And I'm so, but the feeling was great. I had a great time finding friends, getting on with the people, getting engaged in the actually business community from the start.
Right.
And when I'm thinking about it now, I actually got engaged, and that's why I got that response from community. Anything I wanted, I went and I found the right person and I asked the question. I said, I need little help on this one. I need little advice on that one, if you don't mind. And I got engaged with the people, with the right people. And I was lucky also.
So did you go out of, just before you came, did you come to university, or did you come for education, or was it a case of, I'm just going to go start a life in Newcastle? Like, what was that? And just quickly, before we dive back into the show, I just want to take a moment to talk about something crucial for any brand looking to grow in today's digital landscape. This series is sponsored by Mira Marketing, a specialist marketing agency that's changing the game for brands around the world. What sets Mira apart is they take time to fully understand your brand's goals and needs, ensuring they analyze all the data to provide the best possible solution to increase your sales and your return on investment. So if you're looking for marketing support, head over to miramarketing.co.uk. Now let's get back to the show.
Newcastle has one of the best universities in the UK.
Yeah.
And I came here to study purely.
Brilliant.
But I realized very quickly, okay, after I improve my language and I become, a student, this is not something excites me. Because I read about the businesses in the Newcastle, in the UK, in the different part of the UK, and it excites me a lot. It just put full energy in my body. And I said, that's what I want to do. And I start working. I was working 3 shifts a day, dishwasher in the restaurant, reflet guy, or do any odd job just to make a living, because I knew my target.
Yeah.
And that's how I started.
And from university, did you always kind of think, right, once I get through this, I'm working my 3 jobs, I'm trying to save up a bit of money, you came to Newcastle with no money. What was the catalyst to start the business? Where did that spark come from?
Excitement about innovation. I love the idea behind creating some product or service behind the problem. And I could see the stuff which other people couldn't see clearly, because I got this comment of "you are crazy" many times. Obviously, going to the innovation, going to the business, you need investment, you need your time, you need the energy, you need all that stuff. And it's not easy. And I had it from the start, not just in the UK, in Iran, the same. And I knew, this is right for me. A study, and don't get me wrong, when I'm talking about a study, I'm purely talking about university. I still study day and night, but I do my study on YouTube. I do on the, search. I read. I didn't know how to design product. I became product design in the 6 months because I read.
Yeah.
And I have my own university.
Yeah.
And I go and I deep learning. I dig deep into the stuff which I want to learn.
Yeah.
And that's how it works for me. But from university and deciding and moving fast onto the business journey was a great one. I have very fond memory of it.
Yeah. I mean, it's really exciting, but obviously in your unique position, you were a creator and an inventor. Your products that have come out, they come from your inspiration to, provide some. Where was that idea for that product? Obviously, MDaddy. You want to tell us a little bit more about MDaddy and how it started?
Obviously, you know the story behind MDaddy because we're working with you guys. But what you don't know, before MDaddy, I had another business, selltoy.com, and it became very popular as a website in the UK.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, because, and I kept this one as a shock for your podcast. Yeah.
Here we go. Exclusive, right here.
Yeah. And the reason was that suddenly I find that all this second-hand toy going to the landfill is waste of the money, and waste obviously is plastic. So I said, okay, let's start the website. We will buy all second-hand toy through the website from whole UK.
Wow.
We will clean them, repack them, and then resell them to whatever market can be. And this became fantastic business. In the 1 year, again, we started in our bedroom. We moved to the small, like an office, to the warehouse, and it became so big we had to hire people, and it worked very well.
Wow.
While I was doing this one, I think I was in it like 18 months, and it was doing fantastic. It was doing really well for a second-hand toy.
Yeah.
And I saved around 120, 130,000.
Wow.
Yeah. And we were living in the rented property. And I had a big, massive German Shepherd dog. And this dog, I was taking it to a moa for a walk, coming home with the dog stuff, poo, and everything else, horse and everything. And it just wasn't ideal. And I thought, okay, I have to buy something to clean this dog. This massive dog cannot come inside. I have to cuddle him, take him all the time, upstairs to the bathroom. And I went out to actually purchase the product. And I wanted product exactly like a MDaddy, like a Mud Mommy. And Pet at Home didn't have, Amazon didn't have. I did Google it, I couldn't find it. And I thought, okay, this is absolutely great. I'm dog lover. I know lots of people love dog. They have dog. They are dog parents. So it has to be something into it. It took me, believe it or not, only a week to decide I'm going to just forget about all my life and just jump into this one. I believe very strongly this will become multi-million pound. And I'm not exaggerating this. This is exactly my word to my wife. Because Donna looked at me and she thought, this man is definitely crazy. Not just that, I said, we need to actually spend this money we saved to buy our house on the tooling, on the brand, on the establishing this company.
So that was a risk in itself.
Massive.
You just worked so hard to get some money together from your first business,
and then you don't have any support, Stuart. You don't have any family here. Me and Donna, we came here. Both of us immigrant. We started from nothing. We have this money to buy our first house when we are 2 kids and everything.
Wow.
So risk was even higher than when I was younger.
Yeah.
But I knew this will work. Now, I'm telling you now, I knew I work, but obviously it was massive risk.
So at the time, was the risk like, it's so fascinating to hear the story of, coming from Iran, studying here, you didn't have any money, you entrepreneurial, and decided, I'm just going to buy secondhand toys, clean them up, ship them out. And then to,
and that's why I mentioned, Stuart, it has to be in you if you want to do this stuff. You cannot learn this stuff. Some people disagree with us. They will tell, you can learn. No, you cannot. It has to be little bit in you, and then you put fuel on it and you grow it.
Yeah, because that goes back to the risk. There's something in you that went, okay, well, I'm going to risk all this money that I've saved up to buy my first house. I don't have any support. You mentioned you and your wife were immigrants and didn't have anyone around you to lean on if something went wrong, and you went, what it is. I'm just going to use all this money and just, risk it on this new venture. Like, where did that come from? What do you think it's just in you?
Believing in the company. I believe in myself first of all, and I believe in the brand. I knew this MDaddy, and it has actually such a long story. I don't think this podcast will manage. The Mud brand itself, I went and I spoke with the brand builder in Newcastle. They said for a start, we will charge you 5,000 plus VAT, obviously.
Wow.
I said, okay. I came home. I said, I need all this money to be actually for a production and tooling. Yeah. I don't have a spare money for MDaddy. I said, okay, sit. I said, right, MDaddy started. So when I went to the website builder, I said MDaddy. He said it doesn't make sense. MDaddy, what to do with the dog? What to do with the wash? I said, so this is the place believing in something comes to play. If you believe in your gut, if you believe in your your vision, then you have to stick to it. I stick to the MDaddy. I said I want MDaddy. Just you make website for me.
Yeah.
And they said, oh, it will be this one, that one, another 5,000. I said, you know what? Forget about it. I came home, Shopify, by myself. I didn't know even how to switch on the laptop. So I bought the laptop, Lenovo for £89, started the design. And if you, I'm glad the website doesn't exist, because if you saw it, you would be shocked. Picture of prototype with the mud brand on the top and my dog and myself in the mud. And it just started. But the good point about it was people who had a dog, they get it straight away. I didn't have any product in hand. I didn't even have a tooling, but people were placing order for it. They're paying $29.99 at the time.
Really?
Waiting 6 months to receive MDaddy.
Wow.
And then that actually made me a little bit relaxed, that I spent all this time, all this investment, and it's something there.
So there was the proof of concept kind of came out. So how did that, creating the product and, developing the product, where did that start?
So I had to obviously learn a lot by myself.
Yeah.
Going and talking with any specialist, it will cost you lots of money, which I didn't have at the time.
Yeah.
So I learned about the tooling, I learned about the production, I learned about the all aspect of the industrial design, which helped me a lot. And then I bought just one-way ticket to China. So I went to the China, and I just went and searched the factory, plastic factory, molding factory. And it took me 3 to 4 weeks first time, but I find the factory which they would be happy to make the MDaddy for me. Some of the stuff obviously you do is not great. You look back now, you think, okay, I could do that much better. But it wasn't it wasn't efficient way of taking product to market. But that's the way I knew. That's the way I could afford. That's the way I actually could make this brand works. And the rest is the history. We had the first production. I placed order for a 2,000. By the time I came back to Newcastle, I had over 22,000 order, and we had it, and I didn't know to cancel it or to wait for it, because no chance that tooling could manage even 22,000. So we had to cancel the order. We had to refund people. Lots of stuff happened to make this brand success. And the journey was great.
How did they even? So obviously you'd went over to China, one-way ticket, went to a molding plastic factory to try and find someone that could produce this product that you'd invented and come up with the idea of, and all these orders are already there, waiting for your kind of return, and hoping that it could roll out. From a marketing side, how did all them orders appear? Were you, where were you advertising, or were you advertising? What was that marketing? Yeah, that's a big thing now. But I'm guessing back then, because you were on a limited budget, that wasn't the case.
Or probably you will confirm this one. The 2007 pay advertising wasn't as strong like it is now. Mm-hmm. But what was good about it, that organic post could reach a lot if few people liked it. 2007, I'm talking about 2000. Yeah. And I had only one video of the portable MDaddy washing the muddy dogs. And I was doing this one as a dog owner on the many groups. No payment whatsoever. I didn't have any money for advertising. And people liked that one. They liked it, share it, ask the question, purchase. Like, share, purchase. And we had this first batch arrive. We delivered to the customers. And almost anybody who purchased that first batch, they make a video, they make a picture, and they share it. And why was that? The product was, maybe you will think now, okay, this is just a super simple product. How innovative is that? But it was innovation. The reason was it wasn't any product like that in the market. Mm-hmm. You could not wash your dog in the silent with the warm water anywhere on the planet Earth. Mm-hmm. and this is actually fact. And people used to, take the dog to the bath, wash it with the cold hose outside, and that's why dog was running away, not because of water. They're scared of they didn't want the noise, they didn't want the cold water.
Yeah,
and that's why MDaddy proved, is the right product. People were making picture. Oh, my dog was nervous for water, but it's not anymore. This product, washing the dog, and dog is more than happy to stay.
It was kind of like a viral marketing.
Absolutely.
It wasn't even a strategy. It was just a case of it just went viral.
Absolutely. Before even viral became viral. Yeah. And then we started thinking about Amazon, but in the Amazon you could not find the wording portable washing device for dogs or dog washing device.
Yeah.
You could not find this. And it's just crazy. And I was by myself doing packing, doing, invoicing, doing everything. And I thought, okay, this cannot be like that. I have to bring people. We have to hire a small warehouse. But what we didn't realize is going to ramp up massively.
Right.
We got a small warehouse. Small warehouse became no good in the 3 months. Moved to the next one. Became no good in the 1 year. We had to move even to the bigger one. So we had to ramp up. And the reason was we couldn't even believe ourselves how this is growing nicely, how smooth this is growing with the nice margin, and people love it.
So what would you say were, at that point, were your major obstacles?
And yeah, good question, Stuart. Obstacle was that we were not knowing lots of rule, not knowing how actually fast we can go.
Right, okay.
And that was the obstacle. We didn't have any obstacle for a investment or for a product, because it was such a great product, was selling itself, creating perfect margin, perfect cash. Up to now is one of the, best margin I heard or read about. MDaddy is absolutely cash cow. But even that time, as a start, for us was that not knowing many things. Otherwise, we could go much faster, go much wider.
Yeah, so it was like a journey that you were learning whilst you were living it.
Absolutely. I was fully in it by myself, scared to hire people, scared to go bigger warehouse, scared to do any investment, just because I didn't know. And I was learning and I was growing it. And I think that was the biggest obstacle. Otherwise, it would become much bigger than what it is now. Still, I'm not complaining. Still, it's doing fantastic. I don't have any complaint. But my answer to question would be that I didn't know many things.
Yeah, and that's really interesting. Like, you've had so many like obstacles along the way, through your whole journey. From being a child all the way through to coming to the UK, to Newcastle, and becoming an entrepreneur, which has led to success now. There's been so many obstacles and hurdles along the way, and to hear that in business, when you were kind of starting it, that it did so well because of how unique it was is quite fascinating. It's brilliant. Do you have a moment where you went, a defining successful, this is success, I think I've cracked it here? Was there a moment within MDaddy where you kind of woke up one day and thought, this is it? Was it the orders that were there? Or I'd be really interested to hear that.
No. This will surprise you, but I realized MDaddy became a success when we purchased our house in the current location.
Wow.
I don't know if I told you this story or not, but it's very funny story actually.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it.
We moved to the very nice, good area of Newcastle.
Yeah.
And I bought very nice house. When we moved in, the neighbor came out and he said that, oh, nice to meet you. And, you're moving here, normal, casual chat. And I said, yeah, we just moved here. He said, what's your name? I said, my name is Rez. And nice to meet you. He said, he's old, lad, old woman. She said, most of people live here are footballer or drug dealer. I know most of the Newcastle footballer. You are not one of them, so you have to be the drug dealer. And this was just make me so happy. I said, I made it. I made it.
That's fantastic.
And still I make fun of this because Dana was very hungry, but it made my day. I said, yeah,
That's brilliant.
that's proof to me. But I don't want to use the name paranoid. I'm very cautious about the success of MDaddy because it's in my view is a need to become much bigger brand, and even then I will become a paranoid. I need this to run for like ever. And the same with the GoNokNok.
Just to jump in on that. Obviously, we spoke a lot about MDaddy, and because we work together and we're the marketing agency supports you with MDaddy. You came to me and said, Stu, I've got this new creation, this new invention, GoNokNok. And at first I was like, oh, another brand, another business that you're starting. Do you want to tell the listeners kind of what that is?
Well, MDaddy's success came mainly from D2C, direct to consumer.
Yeah.
And we learned a lot during these 6 years. Yeah. That sending parcel to consumer is just 50% of the run in your hand. The other 50% is actually delivering the parcel successfully to consumer. And that's what that was out of our hand. Royal Mail, I don't know, every DPD, all of them, they running the service, but not very satisfactory service currently by any standard. And we were sending 2,000 parcel in the one day few years back, and 50% of customers were complaining, oh, where is my parcel? The parcel is in the neighbor, parcel lost, parcel on the door when it's raining or snowing, or I don't want my parcel on the floor. And I haven't spoke with the neighbor for 30 years. It's just normal. And this suddenly became very clear for me for obvious reason. Me listening to consumer and my customers proves to me this is actually big gap in the market for another product. But I needed again to do my study. I needed to do my research. I needed to do my usual stuff. Took me a couple of months this time instead of 1 week to become very clear that I need to change direction. I need to actually, move to the different industry. And again, it was a learning curve because I didn't know anything about the, parcel delivery and what it is. But GoNokNok is basically a smart parcel box. And the box itself is a special custom designed composite material. So it's a light, but is super impact resistant. And the app and software behind it will allow you to accept your parcel or send parcel without moving out of your bed.
Yeah.
And this is comment from one of current customers. And it's doing fantastic, better than what I expected. But my target for GoNokNok is much bigger.
Yeah.
Thanks to MDaddy. MDaddy is absolutely cash cow. Actually, this is good for a listener and for Northeast people. You may don't know, but MDaddy, I think, is one of the biggest shareholder in the Tesla in the Northeast.
No.
Absolutely. I'm guessing because of... And my reason for telling you this one, Stuart, is that I want to tell you how cash-generated brand is this one. And because of that, I can go and play in my own sand with the GoNokNok and with hopefully future brand. But I'm concentrating on the GoNokNok now. I'm just, 100% on it, running with it as fast as I can.
Yeah. So in terms of I've looked into GoNokNok. The innovation behind it's brilliant. It is something that I've not seen before. To have effectively a parcel box, outside your house.
VIP parcel. We call it VIP parcel box. Yeah.
And what's interesting to me is like the tech behind it as well. It's not just a box where you would put parcels in. What was the process behind, securing it and making sure that you had that full kind of tech innovation, because the world is, all tech at the moment. So,
sometimes they said you have to try and then luck will come. We try our best to be in the right time, right moment, doing right stuff. But you would never imagine AI will come in the time which you're designing the smart product.
Yeah.
You would never imagine that you have a dog washing product and the COVID will hit the planet Earth.
Yeah.
And these two had a massive impact on the product I'm working on. Right. And the GoNokNok AI is the reason is that it will make sending and receiving parcel massively easy. Is taking massive challenge of time management out of individual hand and giving it, free time. You have a free time from your parcel hassle from now on because of simple product. And I call it simple product because it is a simple. It is a box, it is an app, it is a software, but combination of this, it will actually resolve massive issue for the parcel delivery. Almost 40% of first attempt delivery fail in the UK. And that's amount to massive amount of money.
Expensive for the, yeah.
And that's just a first attempt. Never mind lost parcel, missed parcel, or go to the locker parcel, all those sort of stuff. By the way, that then go to the locker is new trick from the courier. They don't want to spend their own money or their time to deliver. They send you, okay, go to the locker so you can spend your money and your time go pick it up. They're playing the trick. But it's resolving real issue. And what we did, we created 9 prototype. And I asked friend around Newcastle, I said, just recommend anybody who buying the online shopping on the daily basis. And last year we put them on the different people's house. Every 4 weeks, move the parcel box to the different people, just to get the feedback.
Right. Yeah.
What we need to add it, what we need to take. And we learn a lot. Which resulted in the current GoNokNok.
Yeah.
And also it had another shock for us. We delivered to somebody who was mother who had a disabled child. And this disabled child is 42 years old. For him to stay at home, he has to have a carer because he has a parcel every day. He has a medicine every day.
Yeah.
And accidentally, they realized that actually he doesn't need carer half of the time which he's supposed to have, because now he can manage his parcel. He can accept that medical. He can accept the food without rushing to the door, obviously through the app and taking the time. Because that's the biggest problem with the parcel delivery. They are there for only 2 minutes. You have to open door, accept, done.
Pretty much running down the drive by the time you get the door.
Yeah. And then we took the box away after 4 weeks and she said, please bring it back or I order one. And I realized, okay, we never thought about disability market. We never thought about the access for this.
Accessibility, yeah.
Yeah, this part of the market. But now half of our customers are the disability.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, and we're talking with many, disability community in the UK.
Wow. To
install for them free of charge, but obviously because we have a subscription and they use it as a subscription.
Yeah, that's fascinating. And I mean, what's common between all of this is there's certain challenges that you've faced, through just personal experience that have led you to create products that you need, and then that goes and you come up with an idea and it turns into a business and a brand that actually helps people's lives. It's absolutely, fantastic.
But it's kind of analytic also, Stuart. I think you do this also. You do, you check the market, you check the idea, you check the service, and then you balance it to see if it's worth it or not.
Risk balance.
And I'm sure we will come to this question, what changed in me? And I will answer you earlier than your question. I learned recently to tell no a lot. I do a lots of no, not to the people, I tell no to my own idea. I'm the guy who come up with the idea every day, every week. Being it on the marketing, being on the product design, because I have to run with the best one which I have at the moment. And I believe that MDaddy and GoNokNok are the 2 best one in my hand at the moment. And they're proving they have very good track record up to now. And I will just run with it. But I learned to tell no. I have idea every day and I tell no, absolutely no. You're not even thinking about it next day. Otherwise, it's a waste of time. Yeah.
So how do you kind of, That's something, yeah. I would personally say I'm not great at saying no, because naturally, people pleaser, you want to do your best for everyone. Do you feel like it's impacted your life as an entrepreneur a lot by doing that?
I think I became much settled, more relaxed person. But I don't have many best friends, which is actually a good thing. Because you're telling too many no, they don't like you.
Yeah.
But it's a good thing. I can spend more time with the family and with the product which I love rather than the so-called best friend.
Yeah.
But that no telling had changed my life. I do the stuff which I love.
Yeah.
Before we had a chat we had about the I'm really into the podcast and I enjoy watching it. I haven't watched TV for a good 2-3 years.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I don't, because I don't want to listen to the crap stuff. I want to listen to the good stuff which I enjoy.
Yeah.
And that's in the podcast. I go search the podcast about business, about the sailing.
Yeah.
And I learn about that stuff and I enjoy it.
Yeah. It seems like it's like embedded in you. You've always, like you were saying, when you go back to your early days, you didn't know how to start a business. You didn't know how to, create a product. But you learned. You were constantly Googling and you were going on YouTube and you were trying to learn. And that seems like you're saying, like listening to podcasts every day and trying to find out new information is that continual, education to yourself, really, and to better yourself. Which
you're 100% right, Stuart. And I design my own way of learning because I don't want this way to be suitable for the next person or for 100%. This is just for me.
Yeah.
I design it for myself. To suit only me, because that's the way it has to be.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it just bother me and it just wastes my time. I want to spend my time with my family, with the stuff which I enjoy, rather than do the stuff which I don't enjoy.
So all the listeners that are obviously will be fascinated by this story, and what advice would you give to them entrepreneurs that might be starting out small business? What is that kind of one piece of advice that you would
that's
give
a very unpopular comment I will make now because they asked me a few times and I said actually people who, especially in the UK, especially in the Newcastle, if you make excuse that is not the right time, it's not the right moment, that's pure, excuse. It's one of the best time to start business and it's one of the easiest time to start business. So if you have an excuse that you are not doing and you're struggling in your current job or whatever it is, then you're making an excuse. And it's no good for me to spend time to think about it.
Yeah.
And just jump into it. But we talk about the risk. I'm a massive risk taker, but I never been to the casino. I've never gambled on the dog, horse, or anything like that. I hate it.
Yeah.
I absolutely hate it. What this tell myself when I analyze it is that I like to take calculated risk. Whatever that calculated risk mean, I don't know. But it can be massive. It can be small. But I don't want to do the crazy risk. I want to do the calculated one.
And you're taking the calculated risk into the thing that you've kind of bought into. You're taking that calculated risk in your belief that this will be successful, your belief that this is a product that will work, this is a business that will work. And I think that's a credit to yourself. It's not the sake of kind of, you're willing to gamble on yourself, and that's because you're accountable for yourself.
You recognize this one very well, Stuart, that I don't want to be another next Apple seller. I don't want to be next barber shop. I don't want to be next, taxi driver or dealership. With all the respect to them, they do hard job, but I don't want to spend my actually great time on those. I want to innovate something. I want to create something which people will tell this product how we manage our time before MDaddy, how manage our time before GoNokNok. And that's actually give me lots of excitement, lots of enjoyment, lots of satisfaction that I created something, people using it and they enjoying it, rather than it's another next one and doesn't make any difference.
Yeah. And I think, being an entrepreneur, brand owner, businessman, it's sometimes it can be quite a lonely journey. You're kind of on your own. People don't see the ins and outs and the struggles that you're going on. And you mentioned something before which was fascinating to me. You mentioned that for the first time, going out and sharing your story, your family starting to understand really what it is you do and the struggles that you went through, because you've got a nice life now, but that wasn't always the case, and you
still sometimes it's true. Sometimes you're struggling, Stuart. For a person to put the time, energy, money, everything you have on the product, which other people don't see. It's not like everybody agree with you. Oh, MDaddy is fantastic. Portable washing device for a dog.
Yeah.
It's going to conquer the world. Everybody against you.
Yeah.
What's this rubbish? The same GoNokNok, the same whatever other business owner do. They have the same experience as me. I'm 100% sure. You struggle. But how you come out of this struggle, how you manage it, that's important.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that teach you a lot down the line. That how to manage it, how to sort it out and come out of it as a better person.
Yeah, that's amazing to hear. So in terms of the future, for yourself and for the brands, what does the future look like?
Future on the MDaddy side or MudMummy side and MudMummy side actually. Yeah, we recently hired COO. Because it's becoming a little too big and too fast to manage by myself.
Yeah.
Despite I have a great team. And we're trying to expand, push the European side and still the UK side, because we haven't touched really the market. We haven't touched even 10% of the market. We're going to new category with the MDaddy. And then I'm spending 90% of my time currently on the GoNokNok. Taking it to the market. First batch was delivered. Second batch coming very soon. Working on the app, working on the software, trying to build up new team around the GoNokNok, and just build this one to become absolutely life changing for anybody who lives in the UK for a start. Because online shopping is just a start. Everybody now these days they do online shopping. But for waiting at home for a parcel or go to post office to pick up or for a return to go to the shop, it's just not ideal in the 2024. When you have a Uber, when you have you press the button and the taxi comes to your house, it just doesn't make sense. And the reason is that these few big players in the UK, they are too relaxed. They don't want to innovate in anything. And we will change it. Now I'm more confident than a few months back that GoNokNok will change the parcel market once forever. It will take us time. It's not going to happen 12 months, 14 months, but it's going to change it very nicely.
Amazing. No, that's fantastic. Well, Rez, thank you very much for coming on the show.
My pleasure.
Obviously, it's the first one that we've done, the first of the series for Brains Behind Brands.
That's like winning the lottery for me.
So I'm really looking forward to getting your story out there. I mean, it's absolutely fascinating. You're very successful. You've had your struggles, but you've also had your successes. And, I just want to say thank you very much for coming on the show. And no doubt, obviously, we work together quite a lot with the brands. So, best of luck and thank you for being on the show.
Thanks so much, Stuart. My pleasure, man.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot.